Welcome to the One Up Podcast. I am your host, El Caballo, aka Tony, aka the great one, aka the real CEO. Fucking boss.
You sound like you need to cough.
Me.
He's waiting to see if Bucho reacts because Bucho loves his AKAs so much.
Yeah, he loves all those AKs.
I hate him. I did want to know who questioned whether you were a fake CEO or what is the real.
I'm just
CEO?
letting it known. I'm just letting it known out there that they know.
There was an expose.
Whoever it is,
there was an expose that came out in the Wall Street Journal. It's a pretty good read.
It's your boy El Caballo, man, off the One Up Podcast. I'm here with some of my nearest and dearest in the building. Got my dog Doe, a.k.a. DJ Doughboy, a.k.a. Mr. Bike himself.
What else?
I love that he shut them
AKAs. a.k.a. Mr. Fitted. Man, always got a hat on.
Yeah.
The man of many hats.
I got a new hat.
Some might say you're ZZ Top himself. I don't know how that correlates at all. Terrible.
Man. Going off the rails quick here tonight.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Let's keep it moving.
And also, I got my dog Mateo in the building, a.k.a. VP of the editing game.
Ooh.
He's not the master anymore or the chief editor because we have the editor back.
I'm still a Padawan.
Listen,
AKA
we've grown.
Green Thumb. Don't disturb my AKAs right now. AKA Green Thumb.
Sorry.
I'm a plant dad
AKA
again.
A what?
I'm a plant dad again. I got a new plant. You know what it did the first day?
Damn.
It lost 15 leaves for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
But it's doing fine now. It just had some shedding to do, I guess.
Damn. It was shedding all its bad juju.
It lost a
Comes to
little
the
weight.
new house.
That's it. It was like, I need to get sexy for him.
The plant shop just kept putting the leaves back on with Elmer's glue, and by the time he took it home,
I
it just
just
like
shook them all off. It turned into that sad little Charlie Brown Christmas tree.
Do you talk to your plants? You're supposed to do that, right?
I definitely talk to my plant.
That's what's up.
Take him out to, because he lives like on my stairs, right? And there's not a lot of sunlight there, so I'll go and take him out to like get more sun from like next to the bigger window. And I'll definitely talk to him whenever I'm taking him out there. He doesn't have a name yet.
He smokes with his plant. He talks with his plant. Now, let me stop for people think you're growing marijuana over there. Also in the building, Pucho, a.k.a. the real editor, a.k.a. Shiny Man, a.k.a. the bald one, a.k.a. Purple Lips Bandit, a.k.a.
No,
I'm just throwing all the random ones out there.
not that one.
We don't like that.
That's a moniker
That's an
that
inside
Pucho
joke.
came up with.
I
Facts.
called someone in high school the Purple Lip Bandit. You can't just flip that
my
around
God.
on me.
Yo, bro,
That
that was
was-
funny.
That was for a specific person. It
That
was
was a
only for
specific
him.
person got named the Purple Lip Bandit. His lips
That
were more
shit's crazy.
purple than anybody else's.
Yeah.
Purple lipped bandit.
People, I don't know how you get purple lips. That shit's maybe
You
a blow
smoke
pop.
you smoke marijuana down to the roach, and then you smoke that to the point where it's burning your lips, and every time that burns your lips grow and gain in that purple power. So you're nothing but perp.
That real Boosie song, smoking on purple, ease my mind.
Just saying, if you ever see somebody you're like, what is that guy smoking? He's getting purple lips is what he's doing. Like when you can't see it, when he's burning fingers and lips.
All I can say is that I can witness. I'm a witness that there's a lot of tobacco smoke, a lot of blunts, a lot of wraps. It was a lot of blunt action, and when you smoke them to the right there, it's purple.
Just disgusting.
How you been, Tony?
Yeah, 100%. I'm all right, man. Fucking took a nice nap before this episode. So,
Ooh.
yeah.
You
I
came
didn't
in
want
with the
to,
nap
but-
power.
Yeah, I didn't want to take a nap, but I did.
No one knows why that is relevant, because that episode was cursed to not come out. We just put out the shorts this last week. But there was a solid like 2 minutes where Doughy and I were pretty sure Tony was straight up asleep recording last week.
All accusations. I don't know what it was. I think it's the power that Doughboy took over and just started talking. I don't even know what he was talking about. But you remember how I came back and I brought back the previous topic? Yeah, at that moment I knew I fucked up. I was like, I was trying to find a lifeline or something.
When you choose your routes, I'm like, choose my routes. When you go on your bike, I'm like, ugh. I'm like, you mean the last? Even when you tossed it off to me and you were like, hey, Doughy, I heard you had some topics. I'm like,
you gave it back like, no.
I was like, hold the fuck up. This is not agreed upon. But I liked the topics that you did pick. The cereal joint.
Nah, them shits is funny, bro.
I'm gonna try to salvage 2 of those. I'm gonna try to salvage at least those last 2. It's gonna be so much time to do the audios, but I think it's worth it, man. Those were
those were funny
solid
ones, man. Yeah, those were solid fucking.
Yeah, you can flashbanging the homeless. Sweep that under the rug.
we could toss that one under.
Put it into the subway.
We should just bleep that out so no one knows what you're even wanting us to sweep under the rug.
Man, Doughy is on an attack, bro. Just know, don't give this man any political power in New York.
That's you, bro. Don't even put that on me.
I took your story and revamped it to what you really wanted to do in life, bro. That's fucking crazy. This man wanted to be Batman of fucking New York City.
Wait.
Or Batman of New York City.
Wait, I asked you how your week was, and all you said was I took a nap before this podcast.
I was cool with it. I was just like, this dude's lost in life.
Nah, bro. That episode was. What do you mean? That wasn't my fault. This shit just got. I don't even know how we got into an X-rated.
You didn't even hear
episode.
what Mateo said. You're
What?
having trouble with words. He said, "How was you do last week? How have you been doing? How was your week?" And you said,
Yeah,
I just took a nap.
and I said,
that's what you did last week.
No, yeah, I know. I'm saying I took a nap right now. I was gonna talk about what I've been doing, but it just got into the fucking last episode talk. But nah, I've been good, man. Fucking just same shit, different day, really. My little man is sick and his teething is kicking into the next level.
Oof.
Got like a little bit of runny noses right now, a runny nose, and then his teething is just like it's on another level. Today it took him like at least he fell asleep an hour past his regular bedtime because he was just not in it. But I mean, you know, it is what it is. It's what's gonna happen. Kid's gonna get sick. Just gotta deal with it one day at a time. Really.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough, dude.
Yeah. What about you, Mateo? How was your week?
Mine was pretty good, man. It's been a crazy week at work. It's like, you know, it's the end of quarter. My company every quarter shit gets wild. It's been one of those weeks. I haven't really done anything exciting, but I did watch this the Bad Vegan documentary on Netflix. Have y'all seen that one?
No.
No, I have not.
Wild. It's about this lady that owned this restaurant in New York, this fancy like vegan raw vegan restaurant, and then she met this guy. And she met this guy through Alec Baldwin on Twitter or some crazy shit like that. And this guy just gaslit her and dominated her life and talked her into like embezzling from the company. And she was constantly wiring him like tens of thousands of dollars. And he apparently like it was just like this gambling addict this entire time. So he just gambled away all this fucking money.
Can I ask a question? When you say he gaslit her, I'm trying to like what the general definition, what is that?
It's lying to someone about a situation and saying that's like lying to someone about a situation basically and telling them that like a thing that is obviously happening is not happening.
Okay.
But it gets crazy because a guy like thought that he was telling her that he was some kind of like enlightened higher being. And if she just trusted him and did whatever he said, that she was going to get inducted through this process where her and her dog would both be immortal. And it just ramps up and up and up and all the craziness. Like this was one of the wildest documentaries I've ever seen. Recommend
her
seeing
dog? It's like, yeah, that's like her dog?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
so
there's
good.
a whole society of vegan power people. You never heard about this?
No, not vegan power.
Just like
I
Scott,
know there's certain people who don't want their dogs to live for the rest of their lives.
There's some people that just don't want the burden of dealing with an animal for the rest of their lives. Yep.
just like
a
Scott
true
Pilgrim,
statement.
that vegan and Scott Pilgrim, he was basically Superman.
Yeah, that's what I'm
that-
saying. The guy in this documentary is basically Todd from Scott Pilgrim with the
Yeah.
vegan powers.
Y'all need to watch it. I can't even explain all the craziness. He claimed he was like this black ops dude that was like literally out there fighting demons, not like mentally fighting demons or metaphorically. He said he was literally out there fighting. It's crazy.
I gotta watch that movie again. I don't remember seeing Todd.
Yeah, he was.
He
the,
has a very short window in the movie itself. It's a bigger part in the comic book, but he's in a band. He's in the band with
Scott Pilgrim's ex.
Scott Pilgrim's ex, and he has like the superpowers. And then turns out he ate like a fucking latte or gelato. That's what he ate. He ate a gelato, and the vegan police showed up and revoked his vegan powers. And then Scott Pilgrim kicked his ass.
No,
What happened?
Scott Pilgrim kicked him into a mountain of coins.
What's wrong with gelato?
It's not
It's
vegan.
not vegan. It has milk. It's ice cream.
Wow, so not even milk?
No,
Comes from an animal, dude.
I will tell you. I will tell you
Oh.
though, vegan ice cream pretty good, man. I've had some good vegan ice cream. They make it out of like coconut milk and various things like that.
The vegans just live a life of lies. What I want vegans to do, all right, is just embrace other foods.
Why
so-
do Go ahead.
I'm so interested why they spend so much time trying to like reinvent the food that they've decided never to eat again. Like they want to figure out how to make a plant taste like a burger. It's like, go eat a fucking burger. Like,
Shit is unheard of. But I mean, at the same time, it's just like people who don't eat meat or I don't know, it's not the same.
it's literally the same. They don't eat meat.
But no, but like they eat chicken. Like I mean, they don't there's people that don't eat meat, like red meat, like they
Yeah,
don't
I've known people like that, pescatarians, and that they only eat fish and maybe some chicken sometimes.
I've met some people like that. I don't know if there's a term for like not eating meat but eating chicken, but like to that level, there probably is. There honestly probably is.
just a bunch of picky eaters.
Most vegan people that I've met, it's some kind of like food allergy, and then they just went like they're like, you know what, fuck it. Like they're like every processed food has this thing, so I'm just gonna do, raw vegan food that I prepare on my own from now on or whatever. I don't know. It seems like a lot of work to me. It seems very, very complicated. I've looked at vegan recipes and they're not. Some of them are complicated for recreating some of the things I enjoy.
I just
Keep it up though. The vegans are doing God's work, all right? A lot of the world's pollution is due to meat production. So them not eating meat, as enough people become vegans, we might just solve the climate problem just by stop eating meat.
Wouldn't we still have to kill all the cows though? Because they fart and it causes
They be
methane or
farting.
whatever the fuck it is. I read something
Yeah.
about that.
I
Yeah, we'd
also
have to
read
kill
that
all the
one.
cows.
It's gonna be a sad world.
I mean, we're gonna make burgers out of them. It'll be like the last batch.
Just one big burger feast to go out on. That's the end of humanity.
Yo, that's crazy.
I saw that they were breeding like short-bred cow or short-haired cows now, like these cows that almost look naked, because they're predicting that the environment's just going to get hotter and hotter and hotter. And that's the only way the cows are going to survive and keep making us delicious burgers.
Sheesh.
It's gonna be less of a problem. Like the lab-grown meat is already a thing. It tastes just like hamburgers. It could be more nutritious than
I'm with it.
hamburgers. And it's like we could stop fucking with cows and just eat lab-grown meat.
I'm with it. I told somebody today. Somebody today got upset that I wanted to use a rice cooker. Oh, you know how to cook it in the pot. I'm like, it's easier in the rice cooker though. Like, and if I could eat some fake meat that tastes like meat, I'm down with it. It's the future.
That's not why he first off, he didn't get mad. And second off, that's not why he said that. You know exactly what he said.
Okay.
Pucho,
Oh,
I
how,
think the rice cooker's superior.
No, all right. So the conversation was Doughboy was like, oh,
The quality of rice is whatever quality you want. You just add the perfect amount of water and you'll get it every time. You make a rice on a pot, it's like, oh shit, I added too much water and I gotta open the pot, let it steam out a little more. Oh, it's gonna be mushy if y'all don't get the heat right. And you're playing this fucking game every time you make a pot. Only my mother I've seen just makes the same rice every single time. And even she's messed it up like once or twice. I shouldn't even say that on the internet, all right? My mother would kill me. I remember there was one time she came up to me.
Ears are burning right now.
She came up to me and was like, yo, I made the rice salty. And it was the only time, that was like a year ago. It was the only time my mother, and yeah, it was, I think we blamed it on the stove at the end of the day.
I've heard you toss a potato into that and it pulls the saltiness out of dishes if they're too salty. Don't know if that's true. I never remember it when I'm actually in that situation to try it.
So how's your week been, Pucho?
It's been pretty good. And also pretty bad. I've been spending a lot of money.
Oh, shit.
My garage door broke. Something went wrong with my AC. My laptop broke. I'm just throwing money left and right. I've spent quite a few $1,000s. I'm a little bit like I need to calm the fuck down for a little while.
You are coming to us live right now from your brand new laptop, huh?
Yeah, no, I wish I could like flip it around and display it. It's beautiful.
It is? Nice.
Yeah, it is.
I'm happy you got your shit in order. Got everything new feels great. Even though you spend the money, new feels great.
That's a fact. Like I'm upset that my laptop broke, but I'm happy that I got a new laptop, you know?
Now this one's gonna last you for a long ass time.
I don't know. The last one I bought, I spent good money on it, and it lasted like a year and a couple months or some shit. Maybe 2.
The one that just
died
broke?
really quick.
With heavy use. Granted, right?
Very heavy use.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I edited video on that every single day. So
And that puts some wear and tear. That's a lot of like reads and writes.
Absolutely.
I know that scares me though. I'm gonna do that to the new laptop. I should buy like a fucking another.
Yeah. Or some sort of warranty, right?
Am I gonna have to make a as the CEO? Am I gonna have to put this like as a contract into like y'all's computers messing up? Like a reimbursement.
Bro, you're the first
type?
person that needs to upgrade their computer in this entire circle of people.
Upgrade the internet.
What are you talking? I did the same. I did it around the same. I did it after Pucho. Anything.
Damn, I heard Tony's computer doesn't even have any RGB into it.
Absolutely.
Not a single RGB.
It does have RGB. It does actually. All right, it does. One white light. All right?
I will not stand for the coquillerie.
Oh my god! All right, but I've been watching a lot of Dark. Okay,
What is
What's
dark?
that?
you guys watch Dark on Netflix?
No.
Is that like the picture is like a hole in the ground or something, and like a kid going into it?
Yeah. That's a
Is that one good?
description.
I've had that one on my list for forever.
It's really fucking good. It'll break your brain. It involves time and different events happening at different times, and it's fucking crazy. Yeah, I don't know. They created this whole story where everybody's like parent and friend and this and that, and it's just this crazy web of like, I don't know how the fuck the writers write this, because I have trouble. I'm like, oh, this is this character, because you go through different time periods. All the characters they look different in every. Well, not only they're different actors in every time period because they're older and shit like that.
Huh.
So it gets hard to keep up, and then sometimes in different time periods they go by different names, and it's fucking nuts. The show's good. I watched season 1 back when I bought my old TV. You know, not the 77-inch OLED 4K, 120 hertz HDR television. Okay?
Damn.
But my old TV, the first day that I got that TV, I put Dark on, right? This is like 2017, 2016 or some shit like that. And I'm watching the show, and I'm like, yo, this lip sync is fucked. And I'm like messing with the settings because I just got a receiver with speakers as well. So I'm doing all this shit trying to get the lip sync right. And I'm like, every time I'll get it to look good, Then like a couple minutes later, it's fucked up again, and I'm like putting delays and I'm stressed. I go to the internet and I'm like it's dark on Netflix just fucked up. And the first comment on Reddit is dark on Netflix is German. I was like, oh shit. I was watching a dub. So the English voices were like coming out. They were just yapping their mouths. And oh man, that shit made me feel real stupid. I spent like an hour trying to get this audio right.
God damn.
So yeah, it's in German, all right? And gotta read subtitles. Or you could put it in English, but then, I don't like that shit. They sound all weird.
There's our
It'd be like a little boy, and he'd be like, hey, I was walking by the kid. You're like, what the fuck? Like, get out of here. That's not a little kid's voice. Like,
oh my God. That's what we should do to our video from last week. We all redub our lines, but we redub each other's line. You like?
Yeah, I like that.
That would
Hey,
be
hey, Chase. What's up, Chase?
Chase.
Oh man. Hey Chase, can I get some water, Chase? Thank you, Chase. That was a real line. I'm gonna take that one to the grave.
It's accurate.
Hey Chase, can I get some water, Chase? Thank you, Chase.
Doughy, get us out of this intro. Tell us about your week.
I've been doing good. If you haven't smashed that like button already, please do that. Notice me senpai, and notice that we have our podcast on every platform right now. Okay, there's nowhere where you can't fucking find us. We're in the deepest of darkest of genres. Even in Pornhub, you might find us. So, my weekend's been good. My week has been okay. It's been better. We started off 19 degrees outside, rough. This weekend started off pretty fucking rough, all right? And then as we creeped into the Friday, we're in the 65s, so I feel a little bit better, I guess. But it's been okay. I've been watching Breaking Bad for the first time.
You've never seen it?
Yeah, Pucho questioned me the last weekend or like a week and a half ago. He's like, why the fuck haven't you watched Breaking Bad? And I'm not going to lie. It had a sore spot for me. I lost my brother when we were watching that show. So I'm like, it was a very touchy show for me to watch. But now that time has gone and, the wounds have healed. I'm able to watch the stuff that me and my brother watched. So I'm watching Breaking Bad and I'm hooked. I haven't been this hooked to a show since the first time I watched Game of Thrones or maybe The Wire. It feels like The Wire for white people. It feels exact. Pucho told me about that. I'm like, yo, this is The Wire for white people. I'm like, this is the exact same setup, except it's just the dumbest people in the world. I'm like, yo, this is like slapstick comedy at some points. I'm like, yo, this cannot be this dumb.
Make
Jesse's
sure
crew.
Make sure that you follow it up with El Camino, because El Camino is a good little like epilogue wrapping up of everything in the series. And then
I haven't watched that yet.
Better Call Saul is fucking amazing, dude.
I heard there's another season coming out.
It's the last season.
Yeah. Shout out to the One Take Boys. They put out a really awesome April Fool's joke video. We're going to do some cross promotion with them soon, but they also released a new podcast on YouTube. It's the One Take Podcast. They're doing their thing. I'm very proud of them. Go check them out if you have not. I've been playing a lot of XCOM. Just a lot of XCOM, just so much XCOM. I've been listening to, the guy who created Bape and Human made a collaboration album with a bunch of rappers like Pharrell, Clips, Gunna, Lil Uzi. There's it was ASAP Rocky, ASAP Ferg, but like ASAP Ferg and Pharrell on a song, and it's just like, it's like God is coming in my ears. Like, that's the only way that I can describe some of these songs. I'm like, some of these songs are like really fucking good, and I know that I'm gonna be listening to them for a long time. And this person, Nigo, this Japanese man, is kind of like a fashion icon. Very interesting person. I'd like to, like I said, he's a very interesting person.
Get him on. We'll put him right in the middle.
Yeah, I wish. We're gonna need
You
a
said the
translator.
guy who made the clothing line, Babe?
He only speaks Japanese though, so it's gonna need a translator. Tony, you can translate, right? Japanese.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have Japanese on your shirt right now. What does that say?
This says Dragon Ball Z.
That Ginyu Force era in Dragon Ball Z was crazy, by the way.
The Ginyu
I remember
Oh,
as
yeah.
a kid, I guess they were still trying to translate the rest of Dragon Ball Z, but I remember I'd go to Toonami, we'd watch that shit, and you would get the Saiyan arc. You would get like, oh, Raditz comes, they fight Raditz, then you got Vegeta and Nappa come, and they beat Vegeta and Nappa, and then Vegeta leaves. They mention Namek or whatever. And then it starts all over again. And Toonami would just do that. Keep the episodes on a loop.
You would get one more episode. You would get like one more episode of like the Namek era or whatever, and then it go back to the start of this. Those episodes are seared into my brain from that era.
Nah, it's
I
always
remember there was a time when it looped and you got to Namek and it just went all the way till the ending of that arc. And I remember thinking that was incredible. So that was very hype for me. Like just seeing the Ginyu Force, like, oh my God, what the fuck? And it turned out they weren't that cool at all. But little kid me, it was incredible just to see something new finally.
The
in Dragon Ball
Ginyu
Z.
Force was so dumb. They were my favorite villains. Actually, no, that's not true. My favorite was either who was the guy back on Earth? Nappa. The
bald guy?
Yeah, the bald guy.
The Bald Brotherhood? Yeah, Nappa.
Nappa was my favorite. He was a badass. He just did not give a fuck. He was just wanted to murder all of them.
Yeah, and the original anime, and they changed it for the Toonami version, but a lot of us growing up, we watched the Canadian version of Dragon Ball Z initially. Nappa's just like ripping cars in half, destroying airplanes. Like he's just murdering people. Like he's destroying the Earthlings like before like people show up to like combat them. I remember thinking this is crazy as a kid. That was really like one of my introductions to Dragon Ball Z is just seeing that shit. And I was like, why haven't I been watching this show? Like I need to see this shit.
Oh yeah, that show was amazing. That was like my first real anime show, I would say. Like, I used to make fun of people. Oh, you guys watch anime? Like, then I realized I'm watching anime. You fucking dick. And then I realized, oh, this shit's amazing.
It was a tie between probably Trigun and Dragon Ball Z for me.
I never watched Trigun.
Yeah, I've watched all of Trigun. It's like one of my favorite anime series.
It's so good. I never saw the movies. I think there's a couple of movies, right?
Yeah, the movies are pretty good. I watched one of the movies.
I've only watched the movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Damn.
The show's good. It's only one season, and there's like one episode of filler.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
Mike gave me a thing with like the movies or like a USB or something.
Spriggan. Michael watched a lot of Spriggan. It was I know exactly the DVDs he gave you. The Princess Mononoke. It had like a bunch of those on there. Spirited Away.
Michael strikes me as a guy that would watch Berserk. I feel like Berserk would have been his shit.
Yeah, he loved animation. He collected comics, stuff like that. So he was big on like animation and animated movies, all that stuff. And
Michael,
believe it or not, Georgie, big on animation as well. Yeah, he's a big.
Georgie was?
Yeah, Bobby Capo. Yep.
Damn, I didn't know he was a big anime fan. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we would talk about anime when we were smoking cigarettes in New York. That one time that I've met Georgie.
He's like
was
an
that the-
artiste. He's like an artiste who just smokes nonstop cigarettes. That's my cousin. That's the only thing I could like. That's who he is. He's like an artiste.
He's an old soul, like the old
Yeah.
dudes. They just used to smoke cigarettes all day.
Chain
That
smoke
was
cigarettes.
that was your old apartment too, where we would smoke in your little bathroom, and would just be in there smoking out the bathroom window. You're like,
I
this
was
is
like-
Crazy.
this is a 17 floor walk up or whatever the hell it was. We're not walking downstairs to smoke.
Yeah, but I
Well-
mean, I hated the smoke smell. I know it sounds contradictory because I smoked weed in my house all day, and I'd send
it's a
the
different
cigarette
smell.
smokers to the bathroom.
No, I feel you completely, dude. That cigarette
That's
smoke is
different.
thick.
Nah, it's different, bro. Nah, that's just different. But talking about different, PlayStation Plus made some pretty big changes. And E3 also hit us with another curveball this year. So E3 canceling, right? That shit there, I don't understand why. I don't know if it's a COVID thing, but I mean, shit's kind of back to normal.
Dude, E3 canceling their digital conference too is interesting. But I know PlayStation had already pulled out of E3 this year, right? So maybe they just didn't think they were going to have that much to show. I mean, maybe it was just going to be a dead conference this year. Who even knows? But it is wild.
Unless E3 thinks that without Sony they can't really have an E3, which is respectable. But
no, I think it's
Oh man, there's those Xbox dudes are just furious with you right now.
burning.
Nah, I think there's a few things. Like before Bethesda got bought out by Microsoft, they had also pulled out of E3. They were like, we're doing our own thing. So Bethesda's doing their own thing. Sony's doing their own thing. Nintendo's already doing like weekly, monthly, these Nintendo Directs. They don't need E3. So then it's like, what's E3 for now? And it's like Microsoft and then this garbage like PC thing they do. It's like, it was Microsoft, Ubisoft, and like this PC shit. It's like, I don't know. It's like it lost all of the... E3 was probably... E3 was my favorite time of the year, for sure, hands down.
Yeah.
Like for a period of my life, I'd be like, E3 was just hype. It'd be E3 and like Steam sales. Those are the best times of the year.
Well, Game Informer hyped that the fuck up. When we used to read those magazines, like the entire year was basically leading to E3. Like every articles are like, we're gonna find out more about this game at E3 this year.
Yeah. I would say for me, it was kind of short lived, but like I started focusing on E3, maybe Nintendo 64 era and stuff like that. It peaked GameCube. Maybe PS3 was like very intriguing. And then after PS4, it kind of just sank. For me, I just did have no more interest in it. I felt like everything that they were showing was just so boring. And it just, none of the presentations even were memorable. The ones that were memorable were the bad ones, like the bad E3 PS3 when it first launched, and like they were showing the crab enemy. It was so bad. It was so bad that it was good. Even Microsoft's Xbox One reveal, when they were like, "Oh, only online." And then everybody was like, no. And they were like, yes. And everybody was like, no. And then they were like, oh, okay, no. Like at the last second, like whoever was, because he said some stupid shit like, oh, if you don't want only online, we have a console for you, the Xbox 360.
I remember that.
Yo, what a fucking brain dead take. The sad part is, what they were pitching was actually really forward thinking. It was actually really cool. Like the idea that I could own a digital game and I could let Mateo borrow that game by like locking it. I like locking myself out of it, and then he could like check that game out, and then now it's like he owns it, but it's like my game and things like that. Like that was super novel. That still isn't done till this day.
That's all I want,
the whole
dude.
landscape of digital gaming would be vastly different.
I mean, SharePlay changed the landscape as well.
Kind of. I mean, SharePlay, Remote Play on Steam, like they're all right. They have their own issues, right? Like it's not the full gaming experience. It's a cool
Imagine
thing.
I could just let Tony borrow Elden Ring for a week and he could just play the game.
Nah, I love playing. I love SharePlay. Like I practically beat Gran Turismo for Doughboy just playing SharePlay.
Fuck out of here. He did like 6 licenses for me, and I appreciate it, but
Races.
Gran Turismo, that's a stretch, Tony.
What? I mean, I'm telling you, like if you guys can't, I know racing is hard for you guys. Just let me know, bro. SharePlay, and I'll do it for you.
Yep. Just hit him up on Twitter. His Twitter was right there in that corner. Right there. That's right. I'm reversed on.
Anyways, what they were pitching was super novel. And it's like for something about the world wasn't ready to just be always online yet. I think if like they pitched that now, it would be way more receptive to it. But the really what fucked them up too is like they were doing that and they were talking so much about all this TV shit and then all the voice shit. They get Xbox on.
You
Xbox,
loved it,
go
Tony.
home.
Tell us, Tony.
I'm in disgust with Pucho right now, not with the Xbox thing. Bro, that whole Xbox on, Xbox off was fire. I don't know about you guys. That shit was fire. I could tell Xbox TV and fucking, bro, that shit was great for its time. After a while, it did get kind of annoying for me.
He wanted to show off so bad. He would be in the PlayStation chat saying, Xbox on, Xbox off. Just showing off to us on PS3, PS. So terrible.
But, I mean, PlayStation does that. I don't know. They have like a voice feature on PlayStation as well. I mean, no one probably ever fucking uses it, but it has that option.
Is there something?
And the Xbox One,
there's the
they pitched it dialing. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Martin.
There's a microphone on the remote, right? Like that's a thing on the DualSense.
Yeah, there's a microphone there, and if you got the PlayStation headphones, you can do it there. And I think you got to say PlayStation or something like that, and then it'll trigger it, and then the mic sign will pop up, and then you can tell it to do things. Like I've done it, but I don't think anybody really does it who owns a PlayStation.
Never even tried it out.
Yeah, but other than that, yeah, Xbox, it was pretty good, but I felt like they were gearing it too much to all that extra shit that they got it kind of away from like the actual gaming part of the system, and some of the stuff was lackluster. Like they fixed it when it came back with the new Xbox, so it's all good.
Not
but
fair.
the best part about that was, I don't think it was, I don't remember who it was doing the presentation. I don't think it was Phil Spencer, but it was funny watching him because even he didn't have it all right. He was trying to explain like how would you let your friend borrow a game, and he was kind of like fumbling through it, saying so many words to say so little. And then PlayStation immediately released an ad. It's like how you share games on PS4, and Shuhei Yoshida grabbed the PS4 game and handed it to his friend. It was like dead. Like
there were so many slam dunks that Microsoft just gave Sony.
Yeah, Microsoft literally lost really the PS4 and even a big chunk of this generation off of that one bad conference.
Yeah.
Like, because they had all the momentum with the 360, and then the PS4 vastly outsold the Xbox One X. It was because they bundled it with the Kinect too. That was a whole other thing. They you had to pay an extra $150 just to have that Kinect, and you couldn't. They were like, no, it has to come with the Kinect. And then like a year later, they sold it without the Kinect.
Because you needed the voice thing with the Kinect.
Yep.
Yeah, but what a bad design. Like they should have seen that from the nobody wants that bullshit.
I never even used that camera like that.
That shit was so gimmicky to begin with. Look at what they did to Rare. Rare was such an amazing company, bro. They made them make a bunch of Kinect games. Just like, yo, those people must hate themselves. Yo, we created GoldenEye. We created Conker's Bad Fur Day, Banjo Kazooie. You're making us make some funky ass Kinect games?
Donkey Kong Country?
That's crazy.
GoldenEye, Perfect Dark. These people are killing it.
Yeah. They made some games.
Well, it sounds like we're not actually missing much by E3 being canceled this year, honestly. I get more excited about the Game Awards, honestly, over E3 lately. And I don't really care that much about the Game Awards.
In my opinion, the landscape has changed, especially with COVID and the closures of all these game-centric things, and everybody just went online. It's almost killed the movie theater for me. Imagine if we could all watch the Batman on our TV.
You will be able to see the Batman on TV April 15th or some shit like that.
Pretty cool, because I want to watch it.
If we could all see the Batman on TV, 3 of us would be having inferior experiences because we don't have a 77-inch OLED 4K HDR TV.
Yeah. I couldn't even fit that that in my room, so it's just not a reality for me.
And be your entire wall.
Fuck out of here. That shit got nothing. That's just a TV. Shit ain't even that serious.
So Tony, those PlayStation changes though, the PlayStation Plus,
Yeah.
it could be exciting. It's
Let me just tell you, off rip, this is the new thing for any of you guys who don't know exactly what was going on. I'll explain it to you. They changed the prices on PlayStation Plus. Well, they didn't change it. They added 2 new
tiers.
Yeah, thank you. Tiers. Obviously, we all know the original, which is now called PlayStation Plus Essential. Just the regular $60 a year, 2 downloadable games. You know what's been going on for now. Forever.
I might add that tier contains cloud downloads and stuff like that. You know how long my cloud downloads have been I'm maxed out at like the end of the PS4 cycle. None of my PS5 stuff is able to save on the cloud because I have too much PS4 saved games. So for me, I'm kind of a little upset about that. I'm like, if they were able to give me like a Google, let me buy more space, Apple, some shit like that.
Why do you need so much PlayStation 4 games in the cloud?
I have a lot of save data. I have a lot of different games that I
give you like
I've
100 gigs of save data.
Yeah, maybe I gotta go back and delete it, but I feel like it's just a lot of games that I've played.
I feel like you're just holding on to
you
shit
probably
for no
save
reason.
scummed like one game and it's taking up all your space because I got a ton of games and I'm not even using like 20% of that space.
I have to look that up because it's a possibility. I played a lot of XCOM. And XCOM, like I use save a lot and stuff like that.
All right, so the
Jesus
PlayStation
Christ.
Essentials.
You could
shit.
delete your saves right off the PlayStation too. You could see them all from the cloud and delete it.
I have to check that out.
Yeah, check that
Can I-
bullshit out.
Can I add something though?
Yeah,
We wouldn't
Second edition.
we wouldn't even be having this if it wasn't for Xbox being around and Xbox Game Pass doing so well. Like,
Absolutely.
That's what I try to say. Like, competition is very healthy. They would have kept fucking us with this same service if Xbox wasn't doing anything. It's something remotely interesting, and in a way, I guess it's cool that you're now getting the PlayStation Now service. Go ahead and read the next tier.
all right, thank you, thank you.
Let them say it.
So the PlayStation Essential is what we always had. The next one is the PlayStation Plus Extra. I don't know why I did that. Sorry.
How much is that?
This price goes from $14.99 monthly to $39.99 quarterly and $100 yearly. And this provides all of the same essential tier category, but it adds a catalog of up to 400 of the most enjoyable PS4 and PS5 game, including blockbuster hits from our PlayStation Studios catalog and third-party partners. And it gives you extra in this game in the tier. It gives you extra downloadable to play as well.
They did confirm like PlayStation exclusives, like the first party games, I guess. They're not going to be instantly accessible through this PlayStation, through any of the PlayStation tiers, the PlayStation Plus tiers.
Yeah, they stated that it just clearly conflicts with what they're doing right now, and what they're doing is working. So it won't work for their model of business right now.
I think they just don't want to lose the $60-$70 they charge for a game.
Yeah,
For sure.
which is fair.
Absolutely.
Like the developers need to get paid too, right? Like they make a good product, you should pay money and support them so they make more good products, right?
Think about who Microsoft is and think about who PlayStation is. Although PlayStation is doing better than Microsoft is just a gigantic company. They'll buy you for 67 billion, 80 billion like it's nothing. PlayStation can't do that. Yeah. They can't make those those big purchases. Like that shit could be the death of their company if they do it. So it's just they're two different companies.
Sony's a pretty big company too, but nowhere near as big as Microsoft. Like, I think Sony's biggest division is the gaming division, and Microsoft's a software company. They make Microsoft Word, Office, the email, all that shit. Like, they're like, the gaming is a very low on the totem pole in terms of what makes that company money.
I would imagine, honestly, the one that makes the most money is their Azure service and like their virtualization and hosting
Windows
and all that fun shit.
Server, all that bullshit. Visual Studio, like the IDE stuff, all that shit is making them stupid amount of money.
Yep.
So the tier level changes here now, boys. Now you get into the PlayStation Plus Premium.
Ooh.
And the price difference from the premium to the extra only changes by $10 quarterly and $20 yearly. So
What's that?
really, if you
What's that monthly?
like for
$1.20.
yeah, monthly, yeah,
$1.20
but monthly,
yearly.
It's $20
Yes.
a month, 120 years.
$120 a month.
So it's half off if you just buy the year.
Or yearly is $120 yearly and $17.99 monthly. So for quarterly, it's a $10 difference. Went from $39 to $49, and then the yearly from the extra to premium went from $100 to $120. So it really, if you're gonna get it fucking extra, you might as well get premium for extra $20 because what it comes with, it offers PS3 games are available now in cloud streaming. It also adds in a catalog of classic games for PS2 and PSP generations. It also offers the cloud streaming from the original PlayStation, PSP, PS4 games, and it gives you extra extra platinum or premier titles in tier markets. And for a limited time, you can actually try games before buying it. So you get like a time limited game trial before you actually buy the game. So which is that to me is interesting. Like
Something
I like that.
EA Play has been doing, like they allow you to trial their games for 10 hours.
Yep.
Which is plenty of time to know whether you want to play a game or not. But
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
No, it's a cool feature. I think it is interesting to note that there's no PlayStation Vita games on there because PlayStation Vita sucks and PlayStation knows it. So they purposely left it off the list.
I think once again, even on the Vita, you could play PSP games, a lot of PSP games. And I think they just had these emulators sitting there. I think this is also a way of them to close out the PSP store and like allow themselves to only recoup some of, because they tried to close down the PS3 and the PS Vita store, which had PSP games. So I think this is their way of like integrating those games without completely losing them. I think Vita games are just gonna come after. I don't know if any of these companies know how to make a functional emulator. It just seems like they have a very hard time with it. Nintendo, everybody seems like it just takes forever for these. Like, where's a GameCube emulator for Nintendo? Why haven't we received that yet? It doesn't seem, I don't know. It doesn't seem like these companies really know what they're doing when it comes to emulation. So it's nice to see that these are coming forward.
I don't think it's so much that they don't know what they're doing. I think it's just not worth the money. Like, it's going to take some amount of time and investment and engineers to go and produce like a quality emulator. Like every emulator you download online, they all work pretty good, but there's an acceptable amount of jank because you're basically pirating games. You're like, ah, fuck it. Like, yeah, this texture's glitchy, but whatever, I'm playing this game again type of thing. But if you got that product from Nintendo, you'd be pissed. Like, you'd be like, fuck that. This should be perfect, blah, blah. So it's like they gotta make all this stuff. They need to make it right, and that's not even the big problem. The big problem is once they do all that, people aren't gonna use it. What happens every time you get an emulator? You download all these games, you set it all up like your shiny library. You boot like 7 of those games. You play them for like 3 minutes.
Your shiny legal library.
Your shiny legal library, and then you play them for like 7 minutes, and then you're just like, oh, and then you just like go to Pornhub or something, and then that's it. Your emulation's over. So it's like for Sony or any of these companies to spend all that time to go and make these emulators and shit like that. Like, and then for you to do that, they're gonna be like, "Oh, what a fucking waste of money!" Like,
My concern with the PlayStation Plus changes, like the cool shit that they're offering us, is that all of them say up to 400 games library of PS1 games, and up to worries me, because I wonder if it's going to be like the Nintendo thing, because I hate the NES and the SNES emulator on Switch, just because you get one good game for every like 5 garbage games they put on there.
Yeah,
There's a lot of bad games in there.
I think it's I personally, I feel like these people are responsible for her. Like, I know that it's gonna lose them money, but I think it's just a responsibility thing. And like, I think they should be responsible enough to have to create emulation so that everyone should be able to enjoy these games. There shouldn't be a barrier for entry. I think that's whack. I think a lot of these companies they're able to create something functional for us.
Nintendo says they have no responsibility to preserve any of their digital catalog.
Yeah. I think they suck for saying that, personally. I think that's a shitty thing.
It's pretty shitty. I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting to say that like a company that produces something is now forced to forever make that thing that they produced available. Like almost no one has this requirement except for in the gaming space.
Well, think about the movie industry.
Huh?
Think about the movie industry. How many variations of A Space Odyssey you think are there? And there's just a lot of variations of the film on all different types of media.
So it's an interesting thing though, like because like there is a problem in the movie industry with a lot of old films being lost, like the originals of them. Like sure, there's like the DVDs and Blu-rays and shit like that out there, right?
Like the Han Solo shot first, right?
Things like that. There's a lot of movies that have just been lost to time, and they're just crumbling like 8mm reels of tape and whatnot. I would like companies to have responsibility to maintain their shit, but realistically, I know it's incredibly, incredibly hard. Even software companies, they sunset their shit eventually, and you just can't find it anymore.
I mean, you build an app for Windows XP, and then you're on Windows 11. It's like, well, they gotta port this shit for who? Like,
listen, bro, if fucking RuneScape is still fucking playable,
it still makes them money.
That game refuses to die, man.
EverQuest.
Ew.
Fucking Quest.
Anyways, the PlayStation Plus changes. I personally like it. Like, I mean, I pay for PlayStation Now and I pay for PlayStation Plus, right? So between those two, it's like $20 a month. Anyway.
A no-brainer.
So this shit basically is gonna cut my prices in half.
Yeah, because you pay for the year.
I get to just pay for a whole year.
Yeah, you pay for the year. You're getting $10 a month for this service. Why the fuck not? That's what you're paying right now.
Yeah, and I don't know. For everybody else, I'd say it's probably only worth doing the first tier. If you're new to PlayStation, probably the second tier. But I would only pay for the full year, I think. Otherwise, it gets pricey.
So you wouldn't do the premium?
Hit us with that next tier.
That was the last tier.
Yeah,
There's no more tiers.
That was the last tier?
Yeah, there's no PlayStation Ultra Elite, no PlayStation VIP.
What else do you want?
Yeah, it's literally
the last tier is going to give you demos you could try out. There's a full catalog of PS4 games. It basically gives you PS Now for PlayStation 1, 2, 3.
There's no PlayStation 1 games on PS Now though. So like all of that is going to be brand new. Like
they're adding it in.
For premium version. The premium version is going to have the PS1, 2 and $120.
I'm mad that they haven't been able to figure out how to emulate PS3 past streaming.
They know how to emulate it. It's not worth their money.
Yeah, but fuck that, bro. I'll keep support. Go ahead.
It's a problem with the architecture, is what I've heard, but I don't know how true that is. I've heard there's some kind of architectural problem with the chip that they use in the PS3, or I don't know. It gets into like electronical engineering shit that I don't understand.
Pay Xbox 360 for their games and bring them over, all right? I don't know. You know what I mean? If PS3 is too shitty, then maybe they gotta look at Xbox 360 and be like, hey, how are you doing all these games backwards compatible and releasing them?
It's the same thing. The 360, Xbox One, Xbox One X, they're all like x86 architecture. So they just work. Like the PS4 and the PS5 are like the same architecture. So that's why there's backwards compatibility. It's not even a question there. You know what I mean? It just works.
I think Doughboy's secretly an Xbox fanboy.
No, the backwards compatibility on the Xbox One X that I own, I love it. I go back, I play fucking Fear 2. I play all sorts of games that I wasn't able to play. Well, you call it trash. I say that I'm reliving a generation that I wasn't able to play.
I don't know. There's a whole bunch of people that really appreciate. I say a whole bunch of people. I think there's dozens of them, to be honest. They're a vocal dozen. And Doughy's one of them. So there's 11 other people that really enjoy this backwards compatibility.
Yeah, Oblivion.
I mean, I'd be in the same camp. Like, I love my old games. I still have my PS2 games. I still got my PS1 games, my PS3 games. Like,
think about what they're doing. The last batch of games that they released backwards compatible play like absolute shit on the 360 and the PS3. Now, this is the first time you're able to play these games 60 FPS, HDR enabled. That shit is cool for a console to do that and say, hey, let's take the games that we fucked up on and that our consoles couldn't handle and make them playable on the new generation. I just think that type of dedication is just, for me, I'll spend my dollar every time on something like that.
Well, since we're on the whole
remember,
PlayStation.
that's why the GameCube. Well, that's why the Wii was cool, because you could play the GameCube games. But Nintendo never gave a fuck about that shit. Really, PlayStation created this problem, and then they shit the bed when they abandoned it, because the PS1, PS2, PS3, you could play all your games through all those consoles. The first time that shit's ever happened.
Yep.
And then in the PS3 era, they were like, all right, fuck these PS2 games. All right, fuck these PS1 games. And then PS4 came out and you can't play dick no more. And I think that's where everything got kind of fucked up for them. But the PS4 should have at least still been able to play PS1 and PS2 games natively.
I agree.
But I don't know.
Well, since we are talking about the old classics, jump right into this next subject. When it comes to PlayStation 1 games, what was the classic PS1 games that you guys played? Like, which ones was it for you? Which one did it for you? We had Driver was a big one. I love playing this shit out of Driver. I don't know if you guys remember that one.
I never checked out Driver, man. It was not one of the ones that like popped up on my radar.
Dude, I fucking love.
You're muted, Doughy.
Driver.
The Driver soundtrack? How was the Driver soundtrack?
I don't remember it.
Did it have like music they made, or was it like songs that they like made specifically for the game?
I think it was an original soundtrack. I don't think they had like licensed like hip hop tracks and things like that. I think they just like made the music for the game. Yeah, I remember I got Driver and I couldn't beat the first level because I didn't know what a slalom was. And then my cousin came over because the first level of that game, you got to do a fucking driving test. So it's like, do a 180 turn, speed up, then stop, use your handbrake. Like they give you a list of shit to do. And one of them's like, do a slalom. And I was like, don't know what the fuck that is. And it turns out the game has like a video built into it that it shows you like the CPU doing it, and I didn't know it. My cousin came over, put it on, then he did it, and then unlocked the game pretty much. And then the game was fucking incredible. That game was, I don't know. To me, it was like the GTA 3 before GTA 3 came out.
That game there was pretty dope. I always not sucked at it, but like tailing in that game, because I would just get too close and I get spotted. or I hit a wrong turn, hit a car, and then I'm trying to back up and reverse, and then I'm too far away, and it's like fuck. That game always kind of fucked me on that, but no, that game was definitely amazing. Also, another good one off that list, man. Metal Gear. Metal Gear Solid came out.
Driver soundtrack.
Well, my list. I have a little list.
Driver soundtrack is pretty jamming. I'm
Is
listening
it a
to it
licensed
now.
soundtrack?
It is a full soundtrack, 31 minutes of music.
Is it licensed though, or is it like original music?
It seems original.
Right.
It's all original, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Save
Metal
all
Gear
that
Solid
soundtrack.
1 is my favorite video game of all time. I
Dude,
think.
that intro, I've never seen anything like it. Like that cutscene like that, it was so wild. Like the just swimming in slowly, and just the whole scene was so cool. It's one of the coolest games that I ever played on the PlayStation.
For sure. I also hated that beginning, though.
Yeah,
Because like that shit was hard as a kid to get out of that
Yes.
fucking thing and get in the getting in the elevator felt like a fucking victory. Like
Psycho
Yeah,
in
Mantis.
retrospect, it's not that hard.
Psycho Mantis blew my mind the first time that I ran across him. Like that shit was wild.
was
when he
scary,
started
bro.
like telling the other games I had played and talking about my play style, and I was like, this is another level. This is crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that shit is
What-
that
what-
game
what-
right there. But
No, you go.
I was gonna say that game right there set like a fucking. It was like a mecca of what gaming, some games needed to be at. It just set that level, that bar, fucking pretty good.
Yeah, literally, it was like to me, it created the idea of like the Hollywood movie video game. Like games weren't cinematic back then. Like you got like some basic premise, and then you just ran off and like played the game. And some RPGs, you know, like Final Fantasy 7 and 8 and things like that, like there was more of like a cinematic nature to them, but then you know, it was like a cutscene, and then it was just like
PS1 introduced some pretty cinematic stuff, like Xenogears and all that. Those RPG games were, it's looked like absolute shit, but they tried to be cinematic.
No,
I mean, they gave you like a little cutscene here and there to like introduce the characters or show off the world or something, but it was very minor. Like Metal Gear had full voice acting, so it's like every word that's spoken in the game, it's like it just so that automatically feels like a fucking movie. The graphics never change in the game.
even the cutscenes when they happened, you'd get the little bars on the top and the bottom of the screen, right? Like you would go to that cinema style, the pillar boxing
Classic
or column
shit.
boxing, or whatever the fuck it's
the
called.
game starts with credits, like intro credits, like a movie. Like they're dropping the actors' names and stuff like that. Like that shit was crazy.
Did you guys have a problem finding Meryl's code to message her?
It was
A
in,
lot of people
it was
do.
in the book, right? It was in this instruction booklet.
Everybody.
It was in the back, actually. If you looked at the back of the thing, her thing was in one of the panels.
It was on the back of the CD case.
Yeah.
There's a picture of Snake talking to Meryl, and you could see the number in the thing.
That felt so clever. And so I would rent from Blockbuster, and you had to look in the Blockbuster case, and they put it in there.
Yo, that Blockbuster case done got me through some rough times.
Yeah.
Even on
It
the back
even
of the
gave-
Blockbuster case, they'd put a couple paragraphs of just like little hints, tips, tricks, sometimes cheat codes. Like, shit was dope.
Damn, Blockbuster, man, that shit was classic shit.
I swear
Sad
that
that it got-
my Blockbuster handed out instruction booklets for all of like a month, like after they started carrying video games, and they were like, these booklets are just walking every time.
I stole a bunch of them for
at
Nintendo
that
64 games. Yeah. Cruising USA, Super Mario. Who didn't want these?
Why did you steal the Cruising USA instruction book?
That's
We played a lot of Cruising USA in my house, all right? The Cruising franchise. We played
Cruising
a lot.
USA was fire.
Cruising's a good
Cruising the
game.
World also fire.
Very.
But that's N64. Doughy, what's up with you? What's the PS1 game that comes to mind?
PS1.
Take a Spyro.
I would have to say I gotta switch it over to like N64. I would say like Diddy Kong Racing, like those songs and
No,
What the
we're
fuck?
not.
no,
You can't do that.
we're not doing that topic yet. We're on classic PlayStation
We're
1
doing
games.
PlayStation 1.
I'm trying to think of a PlayStation 1 game that had like a banging soundtrack.
No soundtrack.
Fuck a
Just
soundtrack. We're not talking
soundtracks.
soundtrack right now, bro. We're talking PlayStation 1 games.
just ones that we enjoyed playing, like the classic ones from like your PlayStation 1 era.
I liked a
As
lot
a
of the
jumper.
extreme sports games, like the
Like
Cool
Tony Hawk
Borders,
Pro Skater 2.
Pro Skaters. I like the Cool Borders a lot. I like the
You didn't like
snowboarding
Silent Hill?
games. Well, then yeah.
What
I
are you
mean, you're
doing
talking
to-
about like the.
I'm helping him. He needs help.
No,
know-
leave him be.
You know
He's
what was
talking
good?
cool borders.
I like
This man-
Twisted Metal. I like Twisted Metal a lot. Twisted Metal 2.
There we go.
You know what game was better than Twisted Metal though?
What?
Oh.
Vigilante.
Vigilante 8, dude, all day.
Vigilante.
There was even another one that I don't remember, but there was even another one after that came out with. Vigilante 8 was fucking awesome. Just the blocky cars, and they like had hydraulics.
You
just jump.
You had special moves you could do. Every single weapon had like 3 firing modes on it. It was so cool.
Yeah, hard as fuck.
I hated Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal was
Twisted Metal 2 is probably one of the best games of all of the PS1.
who was your go-to
Even
character in
bet-
Twisted Metal?
Twisted Metal 2, I liked. Who did I go for?
I can't remember his name. I was always the motorcycle dude. That's the guy that I liked. That glass cannon guy.
He's a glass cannon. Yeah.
I don't remember, but I do remember it was the guy with the it looked like a Dodge Charger or some shit.
Yeah, me
Or
too.
the chat. Yeah, you too. Yeah, that was my to go guy. I forgot his name though.
There's
Damn.
the black dude with the pink car.
Oh yeah. I
All
forgot.
I remember.
All I remember it from that game specifically, there's a Paris area. That music is like ingrained in my head.
This
They
man's
have
killing
like
me.
some alternate version of a song on there, and it's ingrained in my head.
Worst character was that guy that was just stuck between the 2 tires.
Oh yeah, bro.
Pain Axel.
That was my
Axel.
least favorite
That
dude.
dude. That dude there, bro, looked like he was always in pain. That was a torture thing. There's no way that's even fair at that point. Like,
Where did he shoot
Poor
out of?
guy.
Did he shoot out of his crotch, or were there like
His
guns
cock.
mounted on?
Yeah, he had his arms, but it was like a stick figure, and so you'd pass by him and he'd like disappear. He'd just be like wheels.
He had the same cock gun as the character in From Dusk Till Dawn.
That's a good
He
cock
just
gun.
pulls out that
Think you
revolver
pull him out.
cock.
what about Resident Evil though? You didn't play any of the Resident Evil on PlayStation
Just-
1?
Resident-
you bailing this guy out.
No, you are bailing me out. I mean, I've got to be
Let people
honest.
talk.
Resident Evil, probably the best franchise in the entire world. I know I've probably said that more than once now.
That's rough.
Dude, I don't think you
that's
understand.
a take, man. That's an interesting take.
Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, those games got so much play and like also replay value as well. I played so much of that. Like
Resident Evil 1 needed more dogs jumping through windows. Just every room should have had a dog jumping through the window.
I got tired of that shit.
You're in an interior room. That dog is still jumping through that window somehow.
I mean, that, you know what though? That might be a future topic. Best franchise games of all time. But
That's a good one.
I don't know. Did you guys ever play? You had to have played Crash Team Racing, right?
Not once.
I hated that game.
I thought the game was great.
What? That
Yeah.
game was awesome.
I've got
Damn.
okay. So
It's like a Diddy Kong Racing clone, pretty much. It's the same kind of premise. I think there's like alternate vehicles for like water levels and things like that.
Yep.
Weapons, so you could shoot people mid match. You win a couple races, then you have like boss fights that you gotta like play through, just like Diddy Kong Racing. Yeah, it was cool.
Did you guys ever play the Mission Impossible game?
no.
I love that game.
No,
It's so hard.
It's hard. I love that game.
I don't think I played that.
I
Remind me
def-
what it was.
It definitely did not.
Yo, it was so good. Like
It was
the
satisfying.
There was the one level where it was like a like a cocktail party, and you had to like poison the drink to get the guy to get sick and go in the bathroom. Then you kill him, then you steal his face, and then you.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that game was crazy. It was like all these gadgets, like so you had to make the guy sick, so he goes in the bathroom, then you kill him, then you use the face maker to copy his face, and you could put his clothes on, so you could get to another area. Then you like put like smoke bombs into the vents so that people think there's a fire. And the game was crazy, like all the shit that you gotta do.
Maybe I have played this game. This sounds really familiar.
Yes.
I will tell you though, the best spy game of all time is True Lies for the
Siphon
Super
Filter.
Nintendo.
I thought you was gonna say Siphon Filter too. I was about to say, bro.
Now, True Lies on the SNES was fire.
Siphon Filter was so hard as well.
I couldn't get into
Siphon
it.
Filter was like a wannabe Metal Gear game that was actually really fucking good and wasn't much like Metal Gear at all.
You know what? I felt like it spun off. It was that Sam Fisher game. Fucking what's the name of that game, bro? Fucking Splinter Cell.
You
Yeah,
just said that.
Who said that? Who said that?
Pucho.
Pucho said that. Yeah, what are you talking about?
Nah, I'm talking about Siphon Filter on the PS1.
Siphon Filter, yeah, PS1. I'm telling you,
Splinter Cell was hard, if that's what you were
Splinter
talking
Cell
about.
was hard. Yeah, no, I'm saying that Siphon Filter to me was like the Splinter Cell when it came out. Like that's what, you know what I mean? That's what I felt like when that game came out. But
What fighting games did you guys play on PS1?
and fuck that SmackDown.
I
too, if you
played
bring that up.
I played the two best fighting games. One of them might be the best franchise of all time,
Tekken.
which is obviously Tekken. But the other one needs to be a franchise. We need a remastered version. We need this series to be rebooted. Bushido Blade.
Ah, cool.
Bushido.
Bushido Blade
I
was
forgot
so
about that.
fucking good.
Damn, I forgot about that game.
I also enjoyed Bloody Roar a lot. Like
Is that the one where
A
you turn
lot.
into like monsters mid-fight or
you
something?
turned into like animals.
Nah, I
You
never
could turn
played
into
that.
like an animal. And
Is that the precursor to the game with the chicks with the big ass titties?
like
What's the Dead or
DOA?
Alive?
Yeah.
Is that a precursor to that?
I feel
I'm
like it's the
not
same
too sure.
developer or something, but I really don't know.
The combat feel I played Bloody Roar, probably just a demo, but I remember thinking it was cool, like how you could like hit people and they were like crashing into walls a lot. Like I feel like you do like it's similar in like Dead or Alive, but
Pucho, I feel like you're the person that would have also played this game and loved it. Mega Man Legends.
oh my god, yeah.
Oh,
Mega
yeah,
Man
that was a
Legends
good game.
1, Fire, Legends 2, legendary. No
I've
pun
never been able to
intended.
track down Legends 2. If
Oh
they
my
put that
God.
on this fucking service, I would throw my goddamn wallet at my PlayStation 5 immediately.
Hell yeah. That game
sure.
is so good.
pretty sure the first Legends was on the Vita. You could get it.
What
I,
about
I think they're both on there. Maybe
what
I'm
about
tripping.
Tenchu, the ninja game Tenchu?
I never played that.
Tenchu was
I always wanted to play Tenchu, dude.
I was a
didn't
big
like
fan
it.
of that game.
I played a little bit.
It was
I don't know, it didn't click
hard.
for me.
It was hard. Once
It
again, it
wasn't
was a
that
game
hard.
about sneaking and stuff like that. So you wanted to go in, shurikens blasting, and it was not gonna happen. Like you had to
I
sneak
never
around.
wanted. I never wanted Shuriken blasting. I just wanted straight.
Well,
That's all I wanted all throughout the whole game. Straight assassinations and get the fuck out.
well, on the 1-Up timeline, at this point, it would have been when you somewhere around after you had decided you wanted to be an assassin, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. On the 1-Up timeline, around this time is when the seed was planted in my head, and then it just started going on from there.
When SOCOM came out on the PS2 is when his assassin contract killerness was at its all-time peak.
That was the peak.
Yeah, what?
This is where we're rising.
Yeah, no, that's where that shit started saying, yeah, now I'm on some real fucking guns a-blazing shit.
Yeah. Funny though, not in the spirit of the conversation, but when Doughy brought up extreme sports, my first PlayStation game that I ever played was Too Extreme.
Oh my god!
It was like this game that had extreme sports in it. Like there was like skateboarding or inline skating, and it was just like
Biking.
it was like biking, but it was just like a racing game. Like you're racing other people on a skateboard or something like that. And sometimes there were like these like flags you had to like go in between the thing.
Yeah.
Not a great game, but it was an amazing looking game coming from the Super Nintendo to a PlayStation game. It was like, yo, this is like what games are gonna be. This is crazy. Like
Tomb Raider was also fire.
I don't think the Tomb Raider games are actually that good. The early ones. I love the reboot of the franchise. The new games are fantastic, but I didn't think the old ones were that good.
I think they were okay. I liked
Tomb Raider 2 was cool.
I will tell you, I spent a lot of time running around that library in that Tomb Raider 2 demo, though. Was it Tomb Raider 2 where you could just run around the mansion?
Oh yes, you could lock your servant in like the closet if you're fast enough. The guy who follows
I never
you.
did that.
The guy that follows you with the plates.
Yeah, I never did that. That's crazy.
One game that got a lot of play as well. It was like a Resident Evil clone. Dino Crisis 2.
I knew you were going to mention that one.
Yeah, like I played that game too much. And it was like the best and worst part of any Resident Evil game. You had the horrible camera angles. You can't see anything that's about to attack you. You just have to shoot and it's nowhere.
That game had the goofiest cutscenes, though, right? Like there was just all the cheesiness from like Jurassic Park just turned up to 11, like the maximum.
It was they had like actual people's motions, so they all looked like really. It just was so silly, though. It was such a silly game, but it was a lot of fun.
What about Galarians? Did any of y'all ever play Galarians? No. It's that same kind of style, like your tank controls for your person, but you played like this. Man, I don't remember a whole lot about it. You had like psychic powers. Like you're this kid that had just developed these psychic powers. You had to take drugs to like re-up your like charge for his various powers. But it was brutal. You could just set people on fire. Like that was one of your like psychic powers you got. I remember playing that a lot. My brother played the hell out of that one.
One of these clones. You guys ever played Nightmare Creatures?
I played the demo a lot.
Yeah, the game was cool. It wasn't that great, but it was similar where it was like a blend between Resident Evil, but with like magical powers or whatever. And all the creatures were like all demonic and shit. But I think it was like levels. I think you played. It wasn't like Resident Evil was practically like an open world game. Like they drop in an area and you're just like exploring this whole area. Nightmare Creatures is just like a level. They drop you in a level and you did a bunch of shit, but then you'd be gone after that.
Have you guys ever play Colony Wars?
No,
Space Combat
surprisingly, everybody says that they love those games, but I don't know.
No, if we're talking like the best games from the PlayStation era, like we haven't even mentioned them yet. We haven't even gotten into them yet. We're talking Final Fantasy Tactics. We're talking FF7.
RPGs.
We're talking Vagrant Story.
I never played
Vagrant Story.
Vagrant Story was
played it.
Vagrant Story was good.
It was really good.
Joey, I've got a question for you. The main character in that game, his name was Ashley Riot or something, right? Mm-hmm. Was he wearing just a thong throughout that entire game?
He had like this really, it looked like he was half naked.
Yeah, he had on like shorts, but then the ass was just missing from these shorts, and it looked like he was just wearing like a straight up thong.
Yeah, it felt
isn't his shirt like? Isn't he topless? Or
his shirt's like an apron. It's like the top part of an apron.
Yo, how could I forget Parasite Eve?
I was waiting for you. I was waiting for you to mention it.
God. That game had similar playstyle to the first Parasite Eve, where this like circle would pop out and then you'd get to like choose where you'd want to hit. My favorite thing about Parasite Eve is it was all guns, submachine guns, pistols, all sorts of guns. So there was this rifle that you can get. It was like a 2-shot rifle. If you upgraded that one rifle, those 2 shots, you'd be fucking everybody up. And I love that game. The story, everything about that game. Yo, Parasite Eve is fucking the shit.
If they add those to the service, I plan on going back and playing those games because I never played more than like 10 minutes of that game. Bucho, there's one that I'm surprised Bucho hasn't mentioned yet.
What, Castlevania?
Yes.
Yeah. Symphony of the Night. Symphony of the Night is one of the greatest games of all fucking time.
Absolutely agree with you. Pucho showed me this game. And it blew my mind how much Pucho even knew about this game. When I found out, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm 100%. And I'm like, okay, cool. So that's it. We're done. He's like, no, there's 200%. I'm like, 200%? I'm like, what the fuck is
fuck?
that?
And now the entire
like-
fucking thing flips upside down.
It's the castle upside down. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And it was like, it blew my mind that a game...
Dracula's not even the real bad guy.
Yeah. It blew my mind that a game contained a game inside of it. I was like, whoa. I was like, that's fucking a first for me.
I beat that game. I played it for the first time when I was like too young, but I beat the game maybe like 2004, late. Like we're talking already mid PS2 era. And then I remember in 2006, my chemistry teacher was talking about, we were chatting one day and he was just like, yeah, you know, when I was in college, I used to play a lot of Symphony of the Night and then blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, yeah, you know, it's crazy, that secret ending where you go to the inverted castle. And I'm like, inverted castle? What the fuck? And I remember running home and playing, and then unlocking this whole other part. And I'm like, there's 200% in this game. Like, and I remember that shit was crazy. Like,
Damn, that's
yeah.
fire.
So
you
a conversation
beat
with my
it.
chemistry teacher in high school is how I like found out that there's a whole other half to the game.
That's wild. So it didn't give you no indication?
They do, but it's like old school shit. And it was before I was like a completionist. Like nowadays that couldn't happen to me because I would make sure that I have explored every single tile of this map. You know what I mean? Back then I was just sort of playing through the game, you know?
Could you imagine that they had trophies for the PlayStation 1 games, like the platinums and stuff like that? How I would have way more platinums right now.
How would you share those with other people? You would write them down and they'd have to believe you. There was no online connectivity.
No, I know. That's what I'm
Bring
saying.
a
Like, I
memory
wish.
card.
Oh, that would be the flex right there.
I got 80 platinums on this memory card.
The worst is that a lot of the secrets were just walls that you had to hit with your thing. And you were like, you didn't know it was going to be there.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
I've got a side question. So Alucard is secretly Dracula's son, and all that Dracula did to name this son is he flipped his name backwards. How fucked up would that be to do to a kid?
Imagine I named my kid Cock backwards, C-O-C-K, Cock. So it's Cock,
It'd be
the other way
Cock.
around. Right?
My kid would be Otam. I don't know why Doughy's name is suddenly Cock now that that's what
Yeah, I was
so
going to
confused.
say, I was like, it would be Divad. And he said cock.
Oh, Tony's
I
kid
guess if your name was Cock and then you try to name your son
Cock
the same
Jr.
name backward, it'd be K-C-O-C, Cock.
Luca could have been called Why Not. That's not a bad name.
That's
That is
interesting.
ridiculous. But no, yeah, I don't think Castlevania was definitely dope. I got into it again later on, like maybe last year, like Pucho, or not, maybe 2 years ago. Pucho put me on the show. I'm like, God damn, this Netflix shit is fire. Like this fucking, I love that shit. And then I started
It's a
playing the
good
game
show.
again. It's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't even finished the show.
Same.
Damn.
I watched 2 seasons. I just never continued it.
Another game Pucho put me on, Suikoden. Very good.
Oh,
my
that's a game you have to play
God.
with a fucking guide, though, dude.
Not
You don't
not
have
only
to.
that,
You
but it
take
just
the L. You're not getting all the characters.
I want all the
like-
characters. I refuse to beat that game without all the characters.
growing your castle and seeing your castle, the growth, and you start off in a small camp, and it just is very satisfying. That game, and fuck that gambler Jaspar. He fucking Gaspar. He fucking took all my money.
Yeah, fuck that guy. To recruit him, you got to beat him like 4 times in a row or something. But the fucking odds of beating him in this game 4 times, it's like 1 in a million or something. So yeah, you have to save scum. You got to just like play, load your game till you finally get him. There's like no way.
You know my least favorite character from the entire PlayStation 1 era? It's that engineer that you run into in Final Fantasy Tactics. He's that dude that betrays you like early on in the game. And he's got really good gear, so I would always strip him naked the second that he joined my party. Be like, I know what you're gonna do. I know your move. Go out there with this copper sword. I would refuse to revive him when he went down in combat.
That's awesome.
Which maybe that's why he betrayed me later on.
Fucking hated
Tactics had some cool shit. Like I remember there was like a special because in that game, like aside from it being a tactics game, you spend a lot of time like unlocking classes and leveling up the classes and things like that. So it's like early on you only have like knights or whatever, and then you start getting knights and mages, and then you start getting like interesting things like a dark mage or like a black knight or and there was just so many options. Like I remember you could get Cloud in that game, like it was like a special class to play as Cloud in Tactics. I thought that shit was crazy.
You could get Cloud, you could get a robot. There was the craziest class was that what was it, the mathematician that did like time magic.
The time magic.
Or
it was
no. Oh wait, no. The mathematician did modifiers to spells, so you could do like a ×2 on the spell and crazy shit like that. That game was so wild.
Who did time magic?
Yeah, there was a mathematician or so. There was someone that like a time mage. Was it just the time mage that did time magic?
I don't know.
Because someone did
I
like this and
remember
slow
the
and
time mage and the mathematician being like broken.
yeah,
That's what I heard as well.
Yeah, and we didn't even scratch the surface. Like we didn't get into the Final Fantasy games were crazy.
We don't have to.
We've talked
Chrono
a lot
Trigger-
about Final Fantasy VII on this before.
Chrono Trigger came out on PS1 as well.
Oh man,
So
I mean,
I could shoehorn that one in there. That port was horrible, but
Was it
you know,
bad?
it was still Chrono Trigger. Had the cutscenes, man. Those anime cutscenes were fire. Wild Arms, okay. Wild Arms, one of my favorite fucking RPGs.
I feel like
Never
I've
The
only
played
anime
played.
intro in Wild Arms 1, amazing.
I feel like I've only played the third one. It was the one. They were 3D by the time that I played it.
They've always
I thought the first one was flat. Maybe it
the
wasn't.
first two are flat, but you could rotate the camera in 6 degrees, not degrees. Sorry, there's six camera angles, so you could like change the different angles. So you could, it felt 3D, but it was not.
I just love the idea of playing an RPG that's a Western like style RPG. I thought that was so cool. I thought that was a cool concept.
Yeah, it's like they're in a desert world. They got guns and I don't know. It's very interesting. Yeah.
Final Fantasy IX was, for its time, very impressive on the PlayStation 1.
It's one of the last games for the PlayStation 1. That game came out in like 2000.
Yeah.
It's like you're in almost like the PS2 games already.
Yeah.
Put
These
all that shit
fucking
in the
fart noises
trash.
you're making.
It says they're
All this Final
trash.
Fantasy shit.
Okay,
Throw all that shit in the
what's your
trash.
favorite game of PS1 of all time? Just off the top of your head. What wins for you?
I would say Metal Gear. Metal Gear or Driver. I would even put Twisted Metal above Final Fantasy, to be honest with you.
Damn.
Good job. The Paris theme from Twisted Metal 2, probably the best musical piece in all time.
Wow. we got a lot of opinions flying here.
He's a hot taker. He's a hot taker.
It's got like this guitar riff.
I'll tell you right now, though, since you're bringing up the soundtrack, this brings me right up to my next topic. Best soundtrack in a video game that we've all, like from PlayStation all the way up, whatever, it doesn't matter. What is the best, or what are some of the best soundtracks in games?
You know what's crazy is how many contenders there are for this from the fucking Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost a landslide sometimes when you like. Yeah.
Like Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, what am I missing? There's another RPG that I'm
Mario.
missing. That Super Mario World.
has a lot of them, but like Yoshi's Island Super Mario World is fucking incredible. The music that's in that game fits the world so well. Same thing with Super Mario World. That music fits so well with that world.
The Wii Sports theme. I shit you
Yo.
not. Those Wii songs were fucking fantastic.
The Wii shop music, just the shop when you were shopping, it was such a good tune.
So no one's mentioning the Mario soundtrack or Donkey Kong soundtrack. Like these are.
I just said Super Mario World.
Oh, you did say that? Oh, I didn't hear you say that.
Super
It was just so
Mario
much
World.
stuff you were just shooting out. I didn't really hear that.
Dire Docks might be the most relaxing song ever put into a video game.
Dire Dogs.
From Super
N64.
Mario 64.
That was a name. That was a
first
name.
water level.
Yeah, it's the first water level. It's one where you're swimming and you have to go down to like the pirate ship and there's a big eel float swimming around.
Eel.
I didn't know that was the name of it.
Dude,
That's crazy.
the title select screen, it's like just that music right there is really good. If we're just talking about music in general, that song evokes so much, like it almost gives me PSTD remembering how like hype I used to get. It's like it's weird when you
What
hear
about
these sounds.
Zelda too?
Zelda as
has
well.
some fucking
Oh my god.
bro. Oh my god, Zelda has some soundtracks in it. It just gives me goosebumps right now thinking about it, bro.
Link to the Past is incredible. The SNES version.
Yeah, that
So-
shit was.
Just for some clarification, because I could go on and on about, and I haven't even started talking yet, but on all the soundtracks that I love in games. But are you asking what's the best soundtrack to like listen to, or are you saying what's the best soundtrack that like fits with the game, or like
What's the
you know?
best soundtrack ever in a game?
Yeah,
Of
that
all
clarified a
time?
lot.
That's gonna be hard, right? And not be too hard, right? Because I mean, there's a couple. I think there's a couple ties in there, but it's all based on our opinion. But yeah, we can say like, what's the best soundtrack for a game? I guess like what was the, I guess your top 2 or top 3?
I've got a guilty pleasure one.
What?
Road Rash 3D.
That game had good music.
Y'all ever play that one? That I just looked it up because
yes.
I remember that Sugar Ray was a big part of it. Because Sugar Ray, I don't know if y'all know this, before that song Fly came out, every other song on that fucking album is like just alternative, like hard rock. Like they don't have
Stevie
another
Ray?
Sugar Ray. Yeah.
Like Sugar Ray Leonard, the boxer.
No.
I'm not familiar with the musician named Sugar Ray.
It's the I just wanna fly. Like you don't remember that one?
Zega zeg, zega zega zeg. Ah.
Okay.
Put your arms around me, baby. Put your arms around me, baby.
I
just wanna fly.
Zega zega zeg, zega zeg. Ah.
That's gonna be
that's
fun
not
for our listeners.
Yeah. So I thought Mateo was talking about Stevie Ray Vaughan was somehow involved in this game. That sounds like Stevie Ray. Like
I was shocked that you didn't know that. I was like, wait, Poochie doesn't know who the fuck that is? I was fucking confused.
Yeah, that soundtrack was ridiculous. It had like Sugar Ray and like Kid Rock and like just all these like crazy moments in like 90s hard rock. Guilty pleasure song. There's some good Sugar Ray songs in there.
I'm surprised Pucho ain't say Def Jam Vendetta had the best soundtrack.
I don't think it does.
I don't think it had any music in it. Not really.
What you mean? It had nothing but hip hop tracks.
No, like
Pump. No, they had like a lot of fucking songs on
It had
there.
a good songs in there.
They had a
But was
lot
it?
of.
I don't remember. Was it during a fighting scene you heard it playing, or when you're fighting?
Literally,
was it
while the game was playing, music was playing nonstop in that game.
Damn, I don't remember it was nonstop. I thought it was only during like, some.
Every
fighting.
fight had like they always had like a music theme for that fight.
Is it cheating? Is it cheating to consider Grand Theft Auto games for this like conversation? Because
not at all.
Vice City,
Not at all.
Vice City had a fucking killer soundtrack.
Vice
If
City
we're
might
talking,
win.
it might win. absolutely 100% might win this. You know what is another good contender for those actual music video games? Not just the Tony Hawk, but there was a Dave Mirra BMX game that came out that was very similar to the Tony Hawk series. That also had really good music in it.
Is that the one that had nudity in it?
No, that's BMX XX.
Oh, okay.
That game was fire.
Yeah, Dave Mirra, rest in peace. He created 2 really good PS1 BMX games that I remember. I would have never known about these places in Pennsylvania. There's a place in Pennsylvania that it's called Woodward, and it's like a big ass park for skaters and BMXers and shit like that, which is really cool.
Huh.
That's crazy too, because like I think that might have been a spark inside of you without knowing that your love for bikes.
I've always loved. If I was athletic enough, I would have skated, but I'm not that athletic. I'm biking athletic right now. That's the reach of my athleticness.
Apparently, running to the bus doesn't help.
Not at all. Not at all.
I would almost put Final Fantasy VII up as having one of the best soundtracks, except that fucking battle song, dude. I fucking hate it. I hate the battle song. It plays in every fucking battle, and it killed me.
It's the worst.
Yeah, that's one of the worst aspects of RPG games. Is like they have like 2 or 3 battle songs, and you have to battle a lot in those games. Yeah, and it's like I don't know. Pokemon, the battle music never gets old though.
It's weird how the Pokemon battle is it's weird how it does that.
All those songs are crazy.
The Pokemon battle music does in fact get old if you're not the one playing it. When I've been on a road trip with my nephew behind me playing a Pokemon game, and just that, it is the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, it's annoying as fuck. Hearing somebody play Pokemon is annoying for sure.
I did that soundtrack is fire too though. Like just walking through the city and shit. I was like, damn, it's just that's PTSD. Like, and then when you're at night too, I think I forgot how the song went when you was in the cave and shit too, because I know it changed from night and day. But
it goes do 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 do.
No. Different game.
You guys,
Kingdom Hearts is fucking crazy.
Kingdom Hearts,
Kingdom Hearts, obviously, right? The first Kingdom Hearts.
It's all right.
I never got off the first area. I could not get into that game.
I didn't beat the game.
I love that game. Oh, and Pucho helped me appreciate that game even more.
Oh.
I mean, it was one of the games that Pucho was like, we have to beat this game all the way through. We did that with Shadow of the Colossus. It was a lot of PS2 games when I first got my PS3 that Pucho was like, all right, we have to play through these PS2 games, like Metal Gear Solid 3 and all these. We had like an experience with these games.
Yeah, I remember we played Ico, Shadow of the Colossus.
You remember I got Shadow Colossus from the Radio Shack that closed down not too long after? I got it at the Radio Shack.
Radio Shack sold video games?
Yes, at one point, they sold like games at Radio Shack. Another honorary mention, Final Fantasy X, probably in my opinion has the best music of all Final Fantasies. Maybe Final Fantasy VII tops it, but Final Fantasy X, the Xanarkin theme and all the themes in the game, I like that. What's Seymour? I hate Seymour. Fuck Seymour.
What's a modern era game that has a really solid soundtrack?
Celeste.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, but it's a retro
FTL.
game.
But it's a retro one. Oh, FTL was one I was thinking, but FTL, I guess, I don't know. FTL's got kind of like not classic graphics, right? Like it's a game that you could conceivably maybe make on Super Nintendo. I don't know. I think it would be possible to make that game, to recreate that game just completely on the Super Nintendo.
You know,
play like sick? Populous. No one could play that fucking game because the controls were fucked.
All you could do is raise and lower the land. That's
all I could do.
That's all you can do is raise and lower.
That fucking FTL gets ported over to PlayStation. That would be awesome.
Man, not faithful in that ever happening. There's an entire Twitter dedicated to getting FTL on the Switch or any other, and no answers yet.
What
know-
about go ahead.
What about The Sims? Like, because they record all those covers of like actual songs in Simlish.
Mashuna.
I was gonna say, what about Guitar Hero though? Or
Yeah,
Rock Band?
I mean, come on. If you're gonna talk about Rock Band, this is almost like a cheat code. It's like the
That's a
entire
cheat.
Queen's catalog in there.
the
It's just-
Beatles edition Rock Band. Remember that one?
I think Rock Band and Guitar Hero might be cheating.
yeah.
I feel like they're cheating.
You don't
because-
remember, Pucho, the song from Queen where you're like, yo,
That was
only Pucho could do it on hard. I couldn't do it.
It was a Boston song. Long Time, I think is what you're talking about. That shit was
Yeah.
crazy on the drums.
That's probably
Yeah.
what broke your fucking drums. To be honest,
This is
Yeah.
past the broken drum era. Okay, good try though, Tony.
that butterfly song from DDR. You don't remember that one? That's the only one I ever saw
never
anyone
played
play at the arcade with that stupid butterfly song.
Revolution.
Nah,
I never
I feel
played a
like
Dance
I
Dance.
feel like Rock Band and Guitar Hero are cheating because
Yeah.
unlike GTA, GTA is creating a curated list of
Yes.
like these are songs that fit some themes that we're interested in or something. Like Rock Band's like, here's every fucking song we could get a license to, just throwing everything in the game. Like,
Nah,
there's a
Vice
lot
City
of
is
trash in
definitely-
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
GTA 5 had a good soundtrack. It has a good soundtrack. I like that they're constantly evolving the soundtrack. I think that's pretty
Yes.
fucking cool.
And they're creating new radio stations. I thought that was very fucking cool.
I feel like I
do-
didn't like it. I feel like it. So it was too many radio stations.
It is a lot of
It's a
radio
lot.
stations. And the hip hop
Like-
is like split between like 2 radio stations. And
Yeah, like one thing I liked about GTA 3, right, is that like you could listen to the entire soundtrack. Like it's feasible. Vice City, it's feasible. San Andreas is tough. After that, you just can't. Like
I kind
GTA
of
4, GTA 5, like I don't think you've ever heard every single track that's on rotation on every station.
I
Like, it's
kind
just
of
too
like
much.
I kind of like that you can't get through the whole soundtrack though, because it makes I don't know, it feels stale once you start getting repeating songs, right? Like
Grand Theft Auto 4 had a good soundtrack, and then Ballad of the Gay Tony added a lot of like dance, techno, and hip hop that was really good. I gotta be honest.
there was a Russian song on that Russian station on GTA 4 that fucking slammed, dude. That song
Yeah.
was so good. It
You
was
go to
like
the
there
damn
was like
clubs?
a dance song, and they were talking about pigs or something. That song was fucking great.
Vladivostok radio.
You go to the clubs or the strip clubs in that game. Everybody's jamming. I've always, bro. I don't know what it is about
That was that was y'all's brunch the other day, dude.
Oh my god, that shit looked insane. By the way,
I didn't believe that existed. I didn't believe that you actually went to a brunch that turned into a nightclub in the middle of the fucking morning.
It's
happened.
pretty lit. It happened.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. It was my brother's birthday. We had fun. Fucking
Y'all both took naps that afternoon, right?
I
Oh
passed
my
out when I got home.
god! I was Lisi drove. We drove back to Orlando that day. Lisi drove, and I literally first I got home, passed out on the couch on my mother's couch. Then Lisi's like, "Yo, we're going home today." We got so I'm like, "All right, you're driving then." As soon as I got in the car, I just went like. For 2.5 hours, I slept nonstop till we got home.
Poor Lisi.
The shit was magical. Me and my daughter both knocked out for the full ride.
Lisi took that whole L to the face. Dog.
I
That's
would just
crazy.
wake up on occasion, like oh shit, like you're riding too close to that car. Like I'll just wake up nervous.
She probably got tight. So you go back to sleep, bro. I'm the only
I'd
one
be like,
fucking.
I wake, slow down a little bit. Just pass out again.
and giving
She's probably
commands
getting
while
pissed
she's
off.
trying.
Like, just shut the fuck up and go back to sleep, you lazy bastard. Like,
Oh my god.
Oh man, nah, dude, I was dead tired as well.
Oh no.
What happened?
I don't know. Pooch has got some kind of thing going on over there. I don't know what
His daughter's
he's
crying.
looking for, what he lost.
Because
Man, I'm trying to think of other like modern games that are like solid soundtracks.
This man's going through it right now.
Well, we can't just sit here.
Yeah, we
silently.
can't just
Right
sit
now,
here
we need to
and
put
stop- yeah.
we need to put inserts of like battle music right
Listen,
now.
guys, if you haven't fucking done it already, smash that fucking like button, all right? Listen, just look at your phone right now. Look at your best friend. Tell them, listen to this fucking podcast that we have. Look at this fucking hot and ready videos that are available on any platform that you guys want to watch, okay?
except for Pandora.
Yeah, we're on audio only as well, just for you guys don't want to see our face, but only want to hear our voice or get off to our voice. We're
Shout
there.
Shout out to John Horn. My man has been posting a lot lately on the
Fuck him.
Instagram.
I hope he gets to this
Shout
point
out
and
to
watches
him.
this video.
Damn.
Shout out to him. Shout out to him. Shout out to all the people on Instagram posting. Lena, everybody showing love. Everybody on Twitter, our TikTok family, and our Facebook family. Our Facebook is growing, guys. We're like at a 314. We were at 300 for a long time. We're at 314 now.
Oh, great.
The
though.
reels are helping.
But
Although,
yeah. Shout outs to John. He does make comments. He does like to talk a lot of the shit. That's why he does comment, because he throws jabs in there. But
yeah,
I mean, it's fine by me. Honestly, I think people do want parking though in Central Park, but that's just me. But no, yeah, fucking soundtracks, bro. Like some of them shits were just fucking bangers. Like, it's hard, right? Like, Vice City's up there. Donkey Kong King Country is up there.
Yeah,
oh
absolutely.
Mario's
my
up.
god, Donkey Kong Country, another close contender, to be completely honest.
And, like, you'll need like a panel of judges to really go deep and like, bro.
Donkey
shit's
Kong Country
crazy.
2 has a song called Sticker Bush Symphony, possibly one of the best pieces of music that has ever been created on the SNES. Like, then they should give this guy a Grammy, and whatever the musical shit is, this guy should get it. This guy should get a Nobel Peace Prize for the shit that he's done for the Donkey Kong Country franchise. All memorable music, all mood altering, just like very mood altering aquatic ambience.
I want to see someone receive a Nobel Peace Prize for a video game soundtrack.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
World peace you have created. The Katamari music, Katamari Damacy.
I didn't play that game.
I
Those
don't
games
remember
are
the soundtrack at all.
It's awesome. It's awesome. They
You could
recreated
go
it.
back and play it.
There's this YouTube called the 8-Bit Big Band on YouTube, and they do a lot of orchestrated music, but they take a video game music and they orchestrate it, and there's a guy that writes all the music, and it's incredible the stuff that they've done with like
I
Metal
wouldn't
Gear
mind
Solid 3.
going to an opera that played like old retro game soundtracks, like Super Mario, Pokemon, or shit like that, and just that would be dope. I'll pay to go see that shit.
Yeah. Very,
be
very
fire.
cool stuff that they've been doing. They are giving shows out in New York. They're based out in New York.
Oh, that's
Honestly, though, just to hit the reverse on it, right? What are the worst fucking soundtracks in the game?
There is this game for PS1. I forgot what it's called. It has one of the worst soundtracks. Me and my friends, like me, Roger, and my brother, and I think Anthony, his cousin, were like on the floor crying at how bad this fucking soundtrack was for this game. I think it's called Killick for the PS1. If you look up this game, Killick, It's one of the worst games you've ever seen. Click PS1.
Man, we didn't even name any of the fucking great Sega Genesis games. Sonic the Hedgehog had some good soundtrack, had some good songs in that soundtrack.
Sonic did have some good soundtrack in it.
Very good.
Sure.
The Sega soundtrack is impressive. What
Even
they
the
did.
intro of Sega. Like that to me, it sounded like that shit needed to be on a fucking.
Doughy, I'm gonna give you one potty pun on the PS Vita.
Yeah.
Had a good fucking soundtrack.
Yeah, that was good. Bata, boom, 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 boom.
Thank God I never played that shit.
Boom, bata.
I would have put that down as the worst.
It is one of the best like rhythm games of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was terrible.
I like it. Great energy coming back into this terrible ass fucking music there.
Tony wants to hit the switch. He wants to know what the worst soundtrack is.
I flipped the switch on it. What was the worst one? Not a lot, huh?
The original Grand
there's
Theft
tons. It's like hard to know.
The original Grand Theft Auto, like the top down ones. The soundtrack wasn't great. I mean, but they didn't have licensed music. It was just a bunch of bullshit they put together, basically, right?
I don't even remember that soundtrack for top down version of Grand Theft Auto.
I've got some worst. Every fucking recent game that's come out wants to blast my goddamn speakers out with how loud their like default audio settings are.
Oh, new games of like within a couple years.
Every game that I've downloaded on Steam recently, I have to go and turn down the fucking music volume because it's blasting out over my Discord. I can't hear anyone talk. It's loud as fuck, dude.
Yeah, that shit was trash.
Would it be a stretch to say that I think the Halo game soundtracks are trash?
Ooh, that's a hot take.
Yeah, I think they're well regarded.
They're incredibly well regarded.
Ooh, that one Halo, the fucking main one is.
What about Marvel versus Capcom? I want to take you for a ride.
Oh yeah,
that good or bad?
Bad.
That's terrible.
It didn't make any sense with the fucking game, dude.
I want to take you for a ride.
Okay. So it's coming back to me. Street Fighter 4 had a terrible fucking soundtrack. I could barely remember the song, but it was too much. It was similar to Marvel vs. Capcom. They just played it too much. Final Fantasy 13 probably had a decent soundtrack, but they licensed the Leona Lewis song. Actually, she made an original song for that game. And my God, did they play it a lot. Like, a lot. Like, it was just constant. It was too much.
I have the ultimate. I have it. I found
You
it.
have the one?
Take me down to the paradise city with the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Take me home. Burn out
fucking paradise.
fucking paradise.
Oh, shit.
I like that song though. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, for a game that's kind of good, but that game was pretty. The song is pretty good.
Shout out to
that game wasn't
Felix. Shout out to Miguel. He's gonna love that.
So, although I did put it as my guilty passion, my guilty pleasure, like pick, Road Rash 3D probably might have one of the worst soundtracks of all gaming history.
That shit there, boy. There's another one. I forgot which game it was though, man. That was pretty fucking bad. But it had good music, but it was just bad for the game. Oh, I think it was Midnight Club 3.
Midnight Club had some good and bad music. I remember.
That was an interesting series. That was a real interesting series. There was so much that I disliked about that game, and there was some shit that just worked really well.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
that
Midnight
game.
Club.
The Double Edition was always fun. I love the Double Edition.
Double Edition was pretty cool.
Double Edition was,
Oh, I know the worst fucking soundtrack. Fucking Gran Turismo 3, dude. That stupid bullshit jazz that played.
Oh,
I gotta be honest. They continued it in 7, and it's still pretty bad. I gotta be
that
completely
fucking like
honest
easy
with that.
listening jazz bullshit doesn't make any sense with the game.
Yeah, it's some deep Japanese shit that they're trying to push down our throats.
I don't know. That shit is a tradition, and I hate it. I hate it.
I hate it as well.
I don't know what I want instead, but I don't want that.
Want the grass down, look pretty. Let's do it again. We'll sing
No.
that. Blow the
don't do it
speakers
again.
out.
Oh my God, what would that be like? You load up Gran Turismo and it's fucking playing.
It's Doughy singing.
Doughy singing.
I would take Doughy singing over that jazz shit any day.
Oh man,
Damn.
it's so bad.
An entire soundtrack of Dirty Dog 69.
Yeah, it's coming straight into your earlobes.
Dirty Dog
Bleeding.
69.
Straight bleeding.
That's provocative. Dirty Dog
69.
69.
The greatest hits collection.
I'll shoot you. I'll cut your head off.
I'll cut your head off. I'll blow your brains out. And I did those motions too with my
That
hands.
shit is so big.
I want that videotape so
I
fucking
need
bad.
that. Yeah, I need that.
I
video,
love
bro.
I love his other song. It's just like, suck on my dick. I'm suck on your tits.
The sexual version.
I need that fucking video, man. I just need to see little Doughboy with the fucking guns up. That shit there. Instant classic.
with his fitted on.
Did you have a fitted on?
I think I had one of the silky South Pole shirts.
With the dragon?
The dragons.
Oh my God! If we get that fucking footage, that footage is going into every single video we put out from here for forever.
As an intro and an outro. That would be the best outro, Doughboy with his guns and his silk dragon shirt. Was it the red or the blue? Or
It
the
had
gold?
to be the blue or the yellow one.
Oh, I would say it was gold, but yeah, yellow.
It was when
fucking funny.
it was around the time I first met you. It was like fifth
Because I
grade,
had the
sixth
shirts
grade.
too.
Yeah.
I had the shirt too.
Both had those South Pole joints.
A lot of
I'm
fighting games.
glad my mother spared me that degree of just shame.
A lot of fighting games that won't have great soundtracks, right? I'm trying to think of a fighting game with like a really good soundtrack, and
Street
DOA
Fighter,
had
come
it.
on.
DOA
All
had
those
it.
Street
songs
Fighter
are bangers,
Alpha.
yo.
Street Fighter Alpha. Yeah, I would have to like the Street Fighter games had really good.
Street Fighter had some bad ones on there, but Guile's theme does make up for a lot of those. Guile's theme is pretty
Kyle's
fucking
theme,
great.
Ryu's theme, Ken's theme, all three fucking classics.
I can't
I would
remember
say
any
DOA
music from
had some.
Tekken, and it's one of my favorite fighting series of all time. I think that speaks to it not being a super memorable soundtrack. It also could speak to my memory just being garbage. Either way.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm thinking I played a lot of Tekken and I can't remember a song.
I couldn't even think of like the first like two notes from any of those songs right now. Gun to my head, couldn't do it.
Maybe they didn't have a soundtrack.
Oh, that'd be weird. Just fighting in silence. All you hear is just.
It's not. Yeah, there's definitely music.
Bushido Blade had some super silent levels where there was basically no. Maybe
Yes.
there was no soundtrack actually.
Very quiet.
And
very
and
quiet.
it did feel weird. It felt eerie.
I remember.
It kind of worked with the game though, because those matches were like 5 seconds sometimes. Like your match could be over before like you even swung your sword once.
I remember
say-
Bomberman having a good soundtrack as well, though. As much as I couldn't play that game,
I could never really get into those ones. I played the one on 64. We did play the versus mode a lot.
F-Zero had a good
Yes.
soundtrack as well. They have it on the Nintendo 64 version. They just put it on the Switch. It's pretty good.
Huh.
What?
Yeah, I
Damn,
played
I
that
wish
game like
Bomberman
crazy.
came back out, bro. The verses on Bomberman was awesome. I used to play the shit out of that.
I mean,
Yeah, that's classic.
Mario Kart has good songs all throughout it.
What about the Unjammerlammy Parappa the Rapper era? Where
I thought you were going to bring that up in the last topic. I was so surprised you didn't bring up either of those.
I don't remember that game.
Kick, punch. It's
No.
all in your mind.
the Onion.
Ew. If there's an onion in a game, that game shouldn't even be played.
There's an onion and a karate gi.
With a big old head like Mr. Mackey.
Yep, accurate.
Yo, Daniel the Tiger has a big ass head. That shit is
I would go back to
Daniel
Daniel
Tiger.
that shit is disgustingly big.
Daniel Tiger.
He's got a big head.
You'll learn from soon, Tony.
I hope not. Right now we're on the Coco Melon wave and the blues.
that sounds awful.
Get
dude.
out of Coco Melon. Why would you do that?
He likes Coco Melon.
He's a fucking kid. He's gonna like whatever you put on.
He likes flashing lights.
Nah,
and
he,
Coco
sound.
Melon's
kinda,
like crack.
he definitely no. He knows the difference. Like there's one fucking commercial on this kids program learning channels that just and it's a sleep knapsack shit. This whatever the fuck he's doing, he'll fucking break his fucking neck as soon as that commercial comes. I don't give a fuck. He could be crying. He'll stop crying and just look at the damn commercial. As soon as it's over, go back to fucking crying. Like I don't know what it is, but that he definitely went ham on that shit. He knows the difference. He knows Blue's Clues. He knows fucking Mickey Mouse. He knows fucking Coco Melon.
Hey, don't put Coco Melon. That's just terrible.
I'm trying to get back into Star Wars, but the Rebel shit ended for us, so there's no more seasons of that right now.
Go back and watch the Clone Wars.
I think I might start him back on the Clone Wars and see how he likes it. But no, yeah, we're vibing. I'm trying to remember. Was the Star Wars game soundtracks good at all?
The Fallen Order one's pretty good. I mean, it's Star Wars.
It's like the fucking Star Wars.
Yeah, it's just the Star Wars music, basically.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know. I never played the Fallen shit.
The Super Nintendo one had. I feel like it either had really good versions of the songs or really bad versions of the songs, but I can't remember which way it went.
I don't remember.
Damn,
The games are hard.
Those games are hard as hell. I was about to say that.
Level, like.
You know what was fun though? Putting that cheat code in, getting that lightsaber on level 1, just going fuck things up.
Fucking cheaters.
It was
Back
hard,
in the
man.
day, was the only way.
They made those games impossibly hard. They needed to get the maximum amount of playtime out of a game you could probably speedrun in like under an hour.
Nah, yeah, a lot of classic fucking soundtracks and games, man. That like it's crazy too, because you'll just be talking and you hear a ringtone or something in the background, you'll be like, damn, instant memories, bro. It's just it's fucking crazy.
My wake up alarm used to be that Sonic drowning song. The one that just gets faster and faster.
Get the fuck out
Dude,
of here.
nothing will wake you up faster than that song playing in the morning.
You get that bubble, bitch. Like, need that shit.
That's the most anxiety inducing song of all time in video games.
That shit. You wake up with a panic attack. That's just terrible. I do not want to get woken or like anything near that level of panic. Like, fuck that.
I think we might have lost our doughboy. We might need to just get out of here without him.
Yeah, I was hoping he'll come back, but well, if you listen this far into the episode, guys, there he is.
That's fucking.
Come on,
that's
keep going.
timing.
You don't stop.
Yeah.
here.
Please don't forget to hit the like buttons and subscribe to our YouTube page, man. We're on all audio platform only, Spotify, besides Pandora. We're on IG, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We're on a lot of shit. We're doing a lot of reels, a lot of shorts for you guys. Don't be afraid to hit that share button with your friends. Tell them to go to YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube page. And, comment. You guys have been doing it so far. Keep commenting, good or bad. We love it. We read it. We laugh at it. We might even give you a shout out. You know what I mean? But, yeah. You guys stuck around. Thank you. And like always, go one up yourselves. Peace.